Hello everybody and welcome back to Gregtech. New Horizons. How's your guys' day been? Good? Let me know down in the comments below. So last episode we got ourselves some bacterial vats up and running. These are now making us raw growth catalyst and growth catalyst medium, which are used now for making the next tier of circuit boards, the wetware ones, and also for making neural processing units, which can be made using stem cells, which we get from the raw growth catalyst and stuff. So if you look in here, we can provide it with the unknown crystals we got when we went out into space, osmiridium, growth catalyst medium, and we get back some bacterial sludge, which we can recycle back into growth catalyst medium, which is nice. But we get ourselves our stem cells. And finally, I can use the neural processing units to make myself my stocking input hatches. It's amazing. I've actually even attached a few of them to these things under here. Right here, yeah. Distilled water. So now I can add multiple fluids in here at a time rather than just only able to export like one into a hatch, which is so good. So that's amazing. So last episode, we just stopped before we made ourselves our new tier of circuits. So let's go ahead and do that now because we ran out of time. So the first thing to do is, if we look up wetware, is to make ourselves our final tier of LUV circuit. So let's actually start by crafting the UV one, a ZPM one, and an LUV one. Because what we're actually going to do with these is actually I'm going to need two UV ones because I need to scan a UV one to make the data for the UHV one. So give me a second UV one. Because what I'm going to do with these guys, apart from just claiming the quest, I'm also going to slice them so that I can replace the assembly line controllers over here so we can craft them rather than using the bad recipe in here. And what is taking it so long? Just the tungsten steel smelting, but that seems to be going fairly fast. So I guess while they're crafting, let's craft ourselves our research station, because we can no longer use the scanner to be able to learn the research. We're going to have to use a new complex bit of machinery, the quantum computer and the research station. So let's try and get these set up. And they are a bit weird. When I first tried to do this last episode, which I didn't show, I couldn't get it to work. But after reading the quest book a bit more, I learned something. I was trying to run it off of one ZPM energy hatch. Turns out that is not enough power. So down here with the setup we're going to be doing is we're going to have 4 APUs, 4 cooling cores, and according to this, it's going to use just over half of a UV amp, which is like 2 amps of ZPM. Actually, I think it's about 3 amps of ZPM power because it's 0.75 amps of UV. If you want to go even higher and overclock the APUs to get even more computation, you're going to need more than 1 amp of UV power. So instead of using ZPM energy hatches, I'm going to use a 4 amp UV energy hatch. Yeah, this guy right here. The research station, I believe, can just use the ZPM energy hatch, so I think we're okay. So I'm going to build it back here because this is where we're going to be always keeping all of our data sticks for the time being, so I'm not too worried. So let's build it right here. Let's make sure we're not crossing any chunk boundaries. So let's begin right here. So let's build the research station first. So this looks like this. If you remember from All the Mods 9, if you've watched that series from me, we built this before, but it was a lot simpler than now. So research station goes here. So that is in the 5th block, and then it's up 4 blocks from this thing. Yeah, we're going to have this bottom half in the floor. So 1 here, and then go over 2, and then it's over here, and then it's like across 4, and then right here is where the research station controller is going to go, right? We can check that by using a schematic or a project thingy. That looks right. Okay, let's build it. And it's done. Cool. So right here, we're going to add a object holder. I think it was already there, but facing the wrong way. So there's our object holder. This is where we're going to put our item in that needs to be scanned. We'll put the actual data stick inside the controller. At the back right here, we have a space for our maintenance hatch and energy hatch. So energy hatch is going to go right here. Maintenance is going to go up here. And then right in the center here is going to be for our optical reception connector. And yeah, you can see it's already painted black because I tried to do this before. So that is our research station, which I just formed. This thing changed texture. And yep, now if we just do a bit of maintenance, this thing should be fine, right? Yes, so we can't turn it on yet because it'll power fail because we don't have a quantum computer. So quantum computer, this guy is a little bit more complicated because it's kind of weird to set up. But if we look at the structure for it, it is 1 up on the left side and it's only 2 wide. But it can be up to like 12 long. So this is going to be quite big if you want to do in the future, but we're just going to stick with the normal size tier 1. I don't think if we wanted to go higher than this to like tier 2 and have 4 racks, we're going to need like UHV power to run it. So I'm just going to leave it at tier 1 for now. So we're going to need computer casing, which is going to go right here. Okay. And then we're going to have our quantum computer controller. We're going to have an uncertainty resolver, and then our transmission connector right here facing into the reception connector. And I just need some optical cable. That's going to go there, and we paint it black. All right, cool. And then the rest should be easy enough to build. If I was using one projector. Okay, let's stop that. And I think the rest of the casing then is just this stuff. And this should be completed. Once I add a maintenance hatch. Oops, I did not mean to break that. So optical reception, maintenance, and then our 4 amp energy hatch right here. Is that right? We have advanced computer casing. Oh, I need to add the racks. It didn't add it in. So the 2 computer racks are going to go here and has problems. Okay, so let me just break this and put it back down just to get the texture to fix on this thing. Yeah, there we go. So has problems. Good. So it is formed. So we want to do our maintenance, but it's still going to have problems because it is too uncertain. So you need to do a slight mini game in here. It's all about balancing what's going on in here. I have no idea how to do that, but you just kind of click things around and you just need to get these 2 little lights right here, these 2 LEDs, both green. The one on the left is green, the one on the right is red. So if I just spam, oh, yeah, there we go. Yeah, I just started spamming these things around until it says okay. How it's okay, I have no clue. Apparently there's like some information on how to solve this. I have no idea, but it's working now and you are good. You just need power. So for power, we're going to need a ZPM transformer. So this one here accepts outputs 4 amps. Yes. Tesla cover we need now. Oh, this guy already has a Tesla cover. Okay. So we want right here outputting 4 amps of UV power, and you face up into this guy right here. All right, and that should be everything now. And the only thing left to do is turn everything on, I think. But we have nothing to scan because these guys are still not crafted. What's the issue? I got to put the recipes in here, so it should craft. What's the problem? Neural processing unit 6. Yes. 6 of the crystals. Yes. Nano CPU. 48 of them. 48 of them. And our cable, or a little fine wire. Yeah. And then we have 288 of that. Yeah, so everything in here should be fine. Why are you input separation on? Okay, you just will not craft. Is it because he's ZPM power? No, it says it works at ZPM. And it says like the circuit assembly line is possible recipe for it. Needs clean room. We don't need the clean room if it's in the multi-block. So why are you not crafting? All right, I could not get it to work in the multi-block, so I built a single block to see if this will work now. So craft me an LUV circuit. Okay, so it works in the single block, just not the multi-block for some reason. Weird. Oh, 40 seconds per recipe is going to be painful. All right, there we go. Our first and final tier of our LUV circuits. So that should complete the quest in here. Now it wants us to make a ZPM one, which requires 2 LUV circuits. Great. So craft me 2 of these and then 1 of these. And I've already held that one, so we're good. All right, finally, we have the circuit. So we have our ZPM and we have our UV and we have 2 of them. So what I want to do with these now is, oh, I need to craft another wetware LUV one. But inside here, I've got a slicer. I want to add our slicer with our ZPM, one of our UVs, and this other UV now is going to be scanned in the research station. So let's actually get that up and running. So let's grab out these things. So processing units, the APU tier 3, which is what the quest book wants you to make, need to be made in extreme crafting. So I've set up a pattern to make these because later on we're going to need like a few hundred of them. So up here, I've got an auto workbench with the recipe pre-laid out. And then all I have to do is request the items, it crafts it in here. And at the back, I have an importer, just pull the actual finished APU out. Pretty simple. So for the setup we have in here, we're going to need to do this way. So computer rack 1, we're going to have 2 APUs with 2 cooling cores. And the cool thing is each computer rack's heat is generated individually. So the heat generated from this one will not affect this one. So that means you cannot say fill this guy up with APUs and fill this guy up with cooling cores. They are heated differently. So you need to have cooling cores in the same computer rack. I don't know what this turn on button is, but I'm just going to ignore that because now everything should still be okay, and we can turn this guy on. And yes, now he is computing, and you are still good. And now we can turn this guy on. No valid item to research. And actually, I still need to give this guy here power. So energy hatch, face you up, and power. All right, so that means now we can grab out our data stick, put our data stick in here, and put our UV tier circuit in the object holder. And this will take us 24,000 computation, but we should be generating like 1,900 or something like that. Or no, that was with all 4 of these, or all 8. So we should be producing just over, actually I think the quest book tells me 4 APUs. Oh no, so yeah, 1,920 computation. But there is our data stick with our assembly on it now, or our new processor. And just to not waste power, we can turn these guys off. Now, there is times when I will come back here to do more research, and the uncertainty resolver will be uncertain again. So just keep an eye on, make sure the status is okay every time you go to research something. But now we can put this back here, and it is going to require the UV wetwares. So let's get those set up in their new permanent location inside the assembly lines. All right, so this should be UV, ZPM, LUV. So we're going to need new assembly lines, new circuit assembly lines, because the old ones will just not work with the old setup. I know I made some. Yeah, there they are. So we need to replace 3 circuit assembly line controllers with these. So this one right here is for UV. So we're going to replace you with this one, give you your UV imprint, and also breaking the controller is going to require new maintenance. So you should be good. You are now set up with the wetware assembly. And if we come down here now, we can take this one out and replace it now with these circuit patterns. So this is, which one? Wetware. Yeah, so this one here is our wetware supercomputer. Wait, is that the one I did put in? No, that's wetware assembly, which is our ZPM. Oops. So actually, I'm going to have to replace this one. So give me this one and put the supercomputer in here instead. Now you're good. So the ZPM one is where? I need to like label these things. So you are set up with that one. Good. You are the old ZPM one. Crystal assembly is the LUV. So this one is LUV. So you are going to be for the wetware processor. So that is this one here. So that means this one here then is for ZPM, right? Yes. So you will have this recipe. So crystal assembly is now replaced with the ZPM, which is the wetware assembly. So that is this guy. So that is that guy set up and he is ready to go. And the last but not least then is this guy, the supercomputer, which used to be the ZPM. No, I did it backwards again. Okay, so now this guy is ready to go. So you are the LUV one, we said. So you are ready for that. And then this one over here is the ZPM one. So this one is wetware assembly, in you go, do our maintenance, and there we go. And that's it. So now if we request the circuits, after I remove the old recipes from over here, they should now craft ourselves everything. So let's try and craft an LUV circuit. Wrap of neural processing. Okay, let me set up that. So neural processing in assembler is going to make this. So now if I request it, will it craft? All the assembly lines are over here making our neural processing units, which is nice. Once they're all done, everything should be fine. And this guy should turn on now, right? Yes! So it takes 2 minutes now to make 16 of the new tier of LUV circuits, which I think is longer than it used to take from before, but this is still running at ZPM. So once we finally unlock the wireless capabilities, we can start running these guys at a way higher voltage, which would be amazing. But that is working now, so that is amazing. So let's try and craft ourselves then our UHV circuit. So I have the pattern up over here already. So UHV circuit. So if we look up a wetware, mainframe, next, we are missing 3 things. Okay, let me fix that. Okay, I kind of fixed it by lowering the amounts we craft at a time. Our main bottleneck seems to be the amount of enriched Naquada we're producing. And since I have set up the Prismarine line, it turns out that guy has been consuming all of my enriched Naquada over here in this ABS for making the prismatic Naquada. Yeah, that's not great. So I'm going to have to figure out a way of generating this faster. But it's working now, so I'm starting to craft, and it's going to take a bit because I have to craft like, wow, 32, 16. Yeah, it's going to take a while. but it is working, which is the most important part. Okay, I think I might swap back some of the recipes here to the crystal processors, because I can't be sitting here waiting 360 seconds for a UV circuit. That is ridiculous. But there we go. Our UHV wetware mainframe is finally being crafted. Cool. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to swap some recipes back. I will keep the way they are right now, but I'm gonna expand them down this way and set up the crystal processors here because, oh, this takes forever. How long has this been going? Nearly 20 minutes. And there we go. Wetware mainframe. Yes. And now we've unlocked the UV field gen. And then once we have that, the space elevator. But yeah, we still need to get through the cosmic neutronium stuff. Space elevator casing, which is UHV circuits, UV pistons and stuff. Lots of neutronium. Yeah, we basically have everything. But it just takes so long to craft these things. But we're not going to be doing that today. So since we finished that quite quickly, we're actually going to be setting up some other setup now today. The compact cyclotron. So the comet, which is nickname, I think, is going to allow us to generate different particles and stuff. But our main goal is this thing, the quantum anomaly. Once we have that, we can make advanced nitinol and this chromatic glass, which is going to allow us to make, if I can find the recipe, actually I'll look it up, the laser mirrors. So the mirrors allow laser cables to bend. Yeah, dense chromatic glass. And we have our UHV circuits now. The only thing we don't have is the graded water. So we need minimum of grade 5 water to make this QPIC wafer. But at least if we can start making the chromatic glass now, and the next episode we'll get ourselves up to grade 6 water. So let's go ahead and get these built. And I'm just going to do it over here where our old assembly line setup used to be. So he doesn't look too big. He is probably the same size as our fusion reactors. So not that big. But I'm going to put these guys up on its side. So let's see. Where does the controller block go? So same place on the inside. 3 blocks up. So if I do, say, start from here, come up 3, put the controller right here. And if I grab out my multi-block structure projector and have a look at the shape, let's rotate them once. Yeah, there we go. And is that within the chunk borders? Oh, just off by 1. So if I put the controller here, it's not going to be dead center of this little platform, but at least then it should be fine within chunks. So now if I check it, yes, he's within chunk boundaries. Good. So this thing is actually also set up to say no hatch. So that means it'll build everything and exclude the hatches in my inventory. And then I can add them in where I want afterwards, which is really nice. So let's go ahead and build it. So multi-block is complete. Nice. Let's go ahead and build another 3. I think we can wall share right here. So if I were to put this here, rotate you, break this and try and place, is everything going to be okay? I think so. Nice. All right, cool. So they're all wall shared, which is really nice. So that means we can set these guys up just to basically run in parallel if we wanted to, but we're not going to be doing that. So let's just say right here and here are going to be where the energy hatches go. Okay, and if we come back to the quantum anomaly and look at the recipe for it. So if we were to say comet, we need an unknown particle plus molten uranium. So we'll bookmark that recipe. The unknown particle comes from hydrogen plasma or hydrogen and this hydrogen ion. I think we're going to go with this recipe because it gives us back some hydrogen plasma, and then we can use that plasma to make gravitation or gravitons. Which are used for making quantum anomalies in the DTPF, but it's also used for making the matter manipulator teleporter core for our matter manipulator. And this is going to allow us to basically like say, oh, we need 10 more setups like this. We can like mark our areas and create a pattern, and the ME system will craft all of the blocks in here, and then we can just paste down as many as we want once we have the blocks made. And that is going to be amazing for when we need to like up our production setups. So getting that as soon as possible would be amazing. So we'll start with this guy right here. We are going to need an input hatch right here for hydrogen. And then right here, we're going to have an output because he doesn't have fluid outputs, right? Yeah, it's just items. So you are going to be an output bus that goes right here. So I need wireless cabling up here. So now we have a P2P called Comet. And now we can connect up our export. So you export out hydrogen, and you're also going to require circuit 24. So circuit 24. Oh yeah, does this thing require a maintenance hatch? It does, but it says it's running fine. Does that mean it doesn't need it? I'll add one in right here just in case. Running fine. Maybe it doesn't. Okay. Well, if that's the case, then I won't worry about it. So export hydrogen, accelerate, turn on, and he's running a recipe now. So in here, we should see a chance to get a hydrogen ion. Now, it's only a 5% chance, but is that 5% chance for 9 of them? Oh, well, we got it straight away. That's great. So that then is combined with more hydrogen on circuit 20. Oh, no, we said we were going to do this recipe. So circuit 21. So that is going to be moved into here. So I need an input bus right here, and then an output bus. And it's also going to generate a fluid. I guess I could have a fluid output bus right here. That will export the fluids into the ME system, and our output bus is going to be right here. So circuit 21, and it also requires a fluid input. I'll do it right here. So fluid input, hydrogen, accelerate, and this guy is ready. Oh wait, I need to use an item conduit just to move the particles over. And actually, I'm going to have those auto eject into a compressed chest. So extract, insert. And this guy should turn on now and restart him. There we go. So that's going to make hydrogen plasma, which is going to be sent to overflow storage, which is fine. I'll sort of sell out for that later. But this should generate us one of these different particles right here, either a proton. We're mainly looking for unknown particles, but we might get an electron or a neutron. And that's also going to be set up in a chest right here. Oh, wow. It's a 30-second recipe. It didn't make it that time, but it actually does tell me if it's making a particle. Good. So we're getting our unknown particle. So that allows us to go straight into making this thing. But I do believe the unknown particle is 100% consumed. So yeah, it's a good thing just to leave this thing run for a while. So if that's the case, then right here, we're going to have ourselves an input bus. And this guy is going to have a filter. So here's an unknown particle. This thing is going to be filtered extract for whitelisting unknown particles, always active into here. So if I put that in there, it gets sucked out and put in here. Good. So now we're also going to need a fluid input. So we'll do the same thing right here, but instead of hydrogen, it is uranium. Now, do I actually have this? I'm pretty sure I do. I do. Nice. How is this made again? Fusion reactor. Yeah, so it might not be a bad idea to get this set up. Oh, I think I made a bunch of that. Yeah, because it's used for titanium. Yeah, so I definitely need to get more of this up and running, but that's fine. So that is working there. And now we should be able to turn this guy on. He also requires circuit 24. So in there. And oh yeah, he also has an item output. So output bus will go right here. Turns out I only needed 3. Thought it needed 4, but I guess we could use this one here for making more of the ions or the gravitons using the hydrogen plasma. Yeah, I'll do that for this one. So let's turn this guy on, and yeah, he didn't make it that time. So yeah, we're just gonna have to leave this guy run for as long as possible. Yeah, okay. So this guy here, we said we're going to do the plasma. So export plasma, and does this require a circuit number? Circuit 15. Okay, this guy also has a chance to make an unknown particle, so I've just set up a chest to export that into here as well. So if we turn this guy on, he is processing, and there's a chance we'll make a graviton and unknown particles now. All right, cool. So we're just waiting until this guy... Oh, it has it, but it's not crafting. Oh, no, now it is. Good. Because batch mode is turned on. Still haven't made it yet, which is weird. But I'm going to leave this run for a while, and then we'll see if I get ourselves our first quantum anomaly. All right, this thing has been running for nearly an hour and a half, and I still haven't gotten a quantum anomaly. And if I want to upload this episode today, I think we're going to have to call it there because it doesn't seem like it's happening anytime soon. Yeah. Like, this guy here is just too slow. I did upgrade him to UHV tier power using 2 UV energy hatches, which did cut the time in half down to 15 seconds, but it still just isn't fast enough. And we managed to make enough of the graviton things in here that I can finally make myself the matter manipulator. So that is currently being crafted, but I missed a complete step, and that is the research data for a lot of the components in here. So like the teleporter core, that requires some data, and I did try using the research station, but when I turned to the scanner mode and tried to scan, it power failed for some reason. So I'm stuck using this LUV elite scanner, which takes 2 minutes per component, but at least it's working. Actually, I think, yeah, this one's done now, so I can put that in here. And will that turn on one of them in here? But some of them are completely stuck because they have the inputs but no data to make it. Yeah, you can see like we're waiting on some of the pumps to be made, but hopefully we should have this very soon. But yes, I'm going to let that craft and we're going to call it there. So I hope you all enjoyed. And if you did, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and hit that notification bell while you're at it then as well. So without any further ado, goodbye.